The Ukrainian conflict has entered a new phase, marked by a flurry of diplomatic activity. All eyes are on Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where high-level US and Russian officials are slated to hold direct talks. Leading the US delegation is Secretary of State Marco Rubio, a seasoned politician known for his hawkish stance on foreign policy. He's joined by National Security Advisor Michael Waltz and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, forming a formidable team tasked with representing American interests. The Russian delegation is expected to be led by Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, a seasoned diplomat known for his sharp intellect and firm grasp of Russian foreign policy. These talks, however, are shrouded in a degree of uncertainty. The exact composition of both delegations remains fluid, subject to last-minute changes that reflect the delicate nature of the situation. The potential for a Ukrainian delegation to join the talks adds another layer of complexity. While a Ukrainian delegation is present in Riyadh for economic discussions, their participation in the US-Russia talks hinges on a crucial factor: the presence of a concrete plan for a just peace. The stakes are undeniably high. The outcome of these talks could determine the trajectory of the conflict and hold profound implications for the future of Ukraine and the wider geopolitical landscape. The world watches with bated breath, hoping for a breakthrough that could pave the way for a peaceful resolution to the ongoing crisis. The venue itself, Riyadh, speaks volumes about the shifting sands of global power dynamics. Saudi Arabia, a key player in the Middle East, now finds itself at the center of international efforts to broker peace in Eastern Europe. The upcoming talks in Riyadh are a direct consequence of a recent phone call between US President Donald Trump and his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. The two leaders, known for their unconventional approaches to diplomacy, reportedly agreed to initiate negotiations aimed at finding a peaceful resolution to the Ukrainian conflict. This move, however, has sparked concerns among European leaders, who fear being sidelined in a matter of significant strategic importance to their continent. French President Emmanuel Macron, a vocal advocate for a united European front on the Ukrainian issue, has taken the lead in addressing these concerns. He's convened a separate summit in Paris, inviting key European leaders including UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. The agenda is clear: to discuss Trump's peace proposals and, crucially, to coordinate a unified European response. The European Union has been a steadfast supporter of Ukraine since the conflict began, providing humanitarian aid and imposing sanctions on Russia. The bloc's leaders are wary of any deal that might be perceived as rewarding Russian aggression or undermining Ukrainian sovereignty. They're also concerned about the lack of transparency from the Trump administration regarding its intentions and the potential implications for European security. At the heart of the diplomatic flurry lies Ukraine, caught in a geopolitical tug-of-war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has made it abundantly clear that his country will not be treated as a pawn in a larger geopolitical game. His stance is unambiguous. Ukraine insists on being a full participant in any negotiations that directly impact its future. Zelensky's conditions for participation are clear: a concrete plan for a just peace must be on the table. This means no compromises on Ukraine's territorial integrity, respect for its sovereignty, and accountability for the losses suffered during the conflict. This stance has resonated with many in the international community, who view a negotiated settlement as the only viable path to ending the bloodshed in Ukraine. However, the path to a just peace is fraught with obstacles. Key points of contention remain, including the status of Crimea, the future of the Donbas region, and the extent of Russia's involvement in any peace process. Ukraine's insistence on its red lines reflects a determination to secure a future free from external aggression and interference. The upcoming talks in Riyadh are not merely about ending a conflict, they represent a high-stakes game of diplomatic chess with far-reaching consequences. The US, under the Trump administration, appears to be prioritizing a swift resolution, even if it means pushing for concessions from Ukraine. This approach has raised eyebrows among some NATO allies who are concerned about the long-term implications for European security. The Trump administration's pre-negotiation actions have further fueled these anxieties. The circulation of a questionnaire among NATO allies, inquiring about potential security arrangements for Ukraine in a post-conflict scenario, has been met with a mix of apprehension and skepticism. Some allies view this move as premature, fearing that it could reveal sensitive information about NATO's strategic posture and potentially undermine future negotiations. The path to a lasting peace in Ukraine remains uncertain. The upcoming talks in Riyadh, while a positive step, are just the beginning of a long and arduous process. The key players involved, the US, Russia, and most importantly, Ukraine, have divergent interests and priorities. Bridging these differences will require skillful diplomacy, compromise, and a shared commitment to finding a solution that addresses the root causes of the conflict. The world watches and hopes for a breakthrough, but the road ahead remains long and fraught with challenges. Stay informed on this critical issue. Subscribe to our channel for the latest updates and in-depth analysis.